Hi there. My name is Stephen, and I'm the Director of Education here for Beyond Education Consulting. Today, I'm going to help you answer one of the biggest questions I get right around this time of year, March of 2025. What are some common pitfalls facing AP students? So this is something that typically revolves around the AP exams. In other words, if your student is currently involved in an AP class, they're going to be facing their AP exams in May. And this is typically the time around March when we start feeling some of the pressure around those AP tests. Let's talk about some of the common pitfalls that students may want to watch out for. So first and foremost, AP class content and AP exam content are not always one-to-one. It's very often the case that teachers just don't find the time to cover all topics either equally or necessarily effectively, and students may not see as much AP test content as they need in class ahead of time. And again, this has to do with challenges tied to planning for the school year, challenges tied to just general curriculum changes. There could be a lot of reasons that teachers just don't get through everything, but it is a concern that we see very often year over year. Additionally, AP exams are cumulative tests, meaning that students are responsible for everything they've learned across the school year, and they often then forget to review appropriately the things they learned in the first semester of the class. Oftentimes, some of the most foundational or fundamental elements just don't get the attention that they deserve. Additionally, goals for the AP exams are not typically discussed in class. Teachers are going to be great supports for sure, but they don't always assess or plan around what goals students and families may have for themselves. As you probably know, the AP exams are going to be scored on a 1 to 5 scale. And even if a student is getting an A in their AP class, that doesn't mean necessarily they're going to get a 5 out of 5 on their AP test. It's simply the case that we don't often see, again, teachers and students working together to figure out kind of how they're going to reach their goal, what they need to do differently, etc. Additionally, AP exam scores can be very important factors when it comes to college admissions, college academic tracks. So these are things that you definitely want to consider if they're important to you. In terms of putting up sort of a plan together, teachers, again, while great supports for learning, may not necessarily have that on their radar with certain students. And finally, the AP exam is a 3-hour obstacle course that is unlike any classroom test. So once more, even though students are facing plenty of exams in their classrooms, even within their AP classrooms, the AP test itself in May is a very different animal than what they're probably used to. Students are going to need a bit of a game face for these exams because there is a new perspective they need to hold with regard to how to handle certain question types, how to handle the content in general. They're going to be facing anxiety and pressure that simply didn't get experienced in the classroom. And testing strategy becomes really crucial where previously it simply was not. And finally, for students who are taking multiple AP classes or exams, we want you to be especially intentional about your preparation. Make sure that, again, you are putting together plans with your family, with your teacher, any sort of experience and exposure you can get early on to a full-length AP exam, we strongly, strongly recommend. Again, you want to get a good sense of the pacing of the test, the requirements of the test, and ultimately start learning early where you stand within that 1 to 5 point scoring system. So those are some of the most common pitfalls that we see students encountering during AP season, which is to say March through April, and then of course landing in May where the tests belong. If you have any questions or concerns anytime, please reach out to us here at Beyond Education Consulting. Our website and email are posted below. Thank you so much for your time. We hope this was helpful.